Hello there! Once again, this is Anton from Anton Will Obey, and welcome to Five Figures. Now, usually, Five Figures, I try to grab stuff that nobody's seen before, or stuff that all kind of has a theme, or whatever. Today, these are just like real actresses portrayed in plastic from figure lines you probably didn't know about, or at least a lot of people didn't, or maybe you didn't realize what some of the figures were like. I'm going to start off with Cordelia Chase. This is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is her in her cheerleader outfit from Sunnydale. These are by More Collectibles. They're kind of like a McFarlane, but you can tell that they were trying to be much more posable, and they never quite hit the detail that McFarlane's did as far as quality like that, but they were a little more posable, not a lot more. You can see she just has basic arm articulation and some really tiny elbow joints and just wrist articulation that just rotates. The heads on these sometimes turn and sometimes don't. They do on her, they do not on Faith back there. You get a waist rotation, and then the weakest part of all of the Buffy figures was their leg articulation. For instance, Cordelia's skirt is just like solid plastic chunk, and then these just plug into it and rotate, which is kind of weird. It's not super helpful in having her do anything, and she already has a lot of difficulty standing, so she does come with a cool like gravestone base and stuff that you could stand her by, but all in all, definitely not the most posable figure. Later on, More Collectibles did some stuff like Faith here, where you have basically the same arms, but they were maybe done a little better. You have a waist rotation, but you also started to get some actual usable joints. The hips still just turn at the hip, but you also have an upper thigh cut, which is kind of weird because you just have this articulation just above it, so it's kind of redundant. And then you just get like an ankle pivot, which helps a lot more than you'd think, but it does help a lot. Faith being easily one of my favorite characters from the show and the comic. I mean, Eliza Dushku, and she was just great, and I just thought she was fantastic. I loved that character, that kind of white trashy type Slayer. I thought it worked really well. Always been a big fan of the Faith character. And with her and like her, you got to remember this is before face scan technology was really being used for figures. So these are just straight sculpts, and you know, they're not perfect, but they're pretty damn good for the years you're looking at. I mean, these were like, what, 97 when you had these? So that's pretty good. Faith would have came a little later. This gal's from Doctor Who. I don't ever watch Doctor Who, so I don't know who this is. I want to say her name is Amanda or Peel or something like that. Penny, I don't know. It's one of his companions. I'm not positive who made this figure. This is kind of an odd one. They did get the likeness pretty good, I think. I have seen the character, I haven't seen the show. And I just thought it would fit in well with my Black Series figures. She has those weird like suitcase hinge hips. They do give her quite a range of motion, but it's kind of odd. Like I said, not a Doctor Who person, so forgive me for not knowing who that is. And then this is Alyssa Milano. I am drawing a total blank at the name of the show this was off of. The Bitches of Eastwick, or the Kraft ripoff, or not a spin-off of Buffy in any way. Totally can't remember the name of that show. Don't care. This was just a figure that I just boxed. I was like, dang, this is, I think, by More Collectibles, but this is weird. This is a weird designed figure. You get double jointed elbows, which you never see on a female figure. And if you want the Black Series or Hasbro to like do double jointed elbows, take a look at this. If you like this, that's probably what you would get. If you don't like that, then shut up about the single jointed elbows that Hasbro keeps giving us. These kind of work, but I'm not crazy about them. I don't know. I'm just not crazy about them. They work okay with this, but they do somehow, I don't know, make her look a little gangly or something. You get head articulation, rotates. You get waist articulation that rotates, double jointed knees. You get, I think, toe articulation that doesn't like move at all, but why would you want it to? Like, what's the point of this articulation? You get just a pivot right there. No rotation or anything like that. Double jointed knees, that's pretty nice. They go clear up like that. She can kick her own ass. Makes Robo happy. And then you get I'm going to lift this up for all to see. You get a weird ball joint in there. And that is weird. Without the skirt on, this piece this figure would look really weird. But it works if you have those joints covered. The skirt is pretty stiff, so you really only get movement out of this leg. This other one doesn't want to do a whole lot, even though it still has the same ball jointed articulation. So anyway, yeah, it's stupid. I literally, I'm not even joking, I cannot remember the name of the show. No idea. Like drawing a complete and total blank. It's not Practical Magic. It's not The Coven. It's not The Craft. I can't remember what the damn show is. Don't care. Don't even comment if you know, if you want to. Go ahead. I don't care. I don't care what that show was. And this is a weird one. This is, of course, Megan Fox, and that likeness is dead on. They did a killer job. I am even trying to remember what the hell movie this was from. I cannot remember what movie this was from. But she's kind of a McFarlane-ish type figure, I think is who made her. I'm looking. I don't know, McFarlane didn't usually write McFarlane all over his stuff. It was kind of just obvious. But if you didn't know this Megan Fox figure existed and you want one, you better probably look for it. I cannot remember if it was like Zorro or... It wasn't Zorro. I want to say it was something that had Hugh Jackman in it, but you know, for the life of me, I cannot remember. So the articulation is what makes me think it's a McFarlane, because you get like this much arm movement, and you get a ball joint, kind of a hinged joint that swings out and up and around. You get rotation at the hand, and she did have a little like Derringer 2-shot pistol in her that came with her. I don't know where that's at right now. There's something going on in the waist, so you get like a waist rotation, but that's about it. And then you get this big sheer plastic skirt thing that is kind of a pain in the ass. You get a rotation at the top of the boot on each side, and then you get a rotation at the top of the thigh. I don't think there is any... I'm trying to look up there, that's why I'm looking up there. I don't think there is any like hinge at the hip. I think it is just that. But yeah. The sculpt on this is amazing. The facial likeness is amazing. And the figure looks really great. It just doesn't move worth a shit. And I honestly, I cannot for the life of me remember what movie this is from. But anyway, I'm sure if you look up Megan Fox filmography, you could figure out who that was if you were so inclined to do so. But if you didn't know about that figure, you do now, and that's what's important. And so there is my 5 figures. They are all women from movie, TV, and these were all pre face scanning technology. And I always think, you know, you got to appreciate figures for their time period. These were all pretty good for their day. A lot of them don't really hold up now, especially the more collectible stuff. But it is what it is, and that's my story. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye.